everybody, thank you for joining us for the first annual Real Girls Film Festival. My name is Sophie Zavodsky, I'm the founder of the festival, and I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who submitted. Starting the festival, I thought I was going to only receive at most 50 submissions, but you guys surprised me, and I ended up receiving over 400 fantastic, exciting, and unique films by young women all around the world. So, a huge thank you. Real Girls is a space where aspiring female filmmakers can submit their films to a supportive environment, find like-minded peers, and meet inspiring role models. This was important to me because I found that not many festivals celebrate the visions of young female filmmakers, at least not to this extent. We needed a space of our own. My hope as the festival continues to grow is that our filmmakers reach out to each other, make friends, and collaborate. And that way, after the festival this week, we can continue together, creating a strong sense of community. I also hope that you guys continue making and sharing your films. Your visions need to be seen. Now, we have a message from our judge. The judge of the 15 through 19 documentary category is Kelly Fife Marshall. Kelly is an award-winning director, screenwriter, and social activist. She's directed several music videos, documentaries, narratives, and branded content. Kelly was invited to be a juror for the Canadian Academy of Film and Television due to her vast experience in the field. In 2017, her award-winning short film, Haven, premiered at South by Southwest, a short film which later went on to win Audience Choice at BAFTA. Recently, Kelly has released her two-part short film titled Black Bodies and Marathon. With her love for film mixed with her passion for humanitarianism, Kelly was invited to speak at TEDx Youth Toronto 2018 about making change in the world. With a speech entitled Make Ripples Where You Are, she encourages youth to be global citizens. Kelly uses films to change perspectives, create healing, and share powerful stories. She leaves every project she touches impactful and makes sure that even in a small way, it changes the world. Please welcome Kelly Fife Marshall.
Hey Real Girls, it is Kelly Fife Marshall here. I'm a writer-director and I make impact films. And I was a judge this year. I had the blessing of being a judge for Real Girls Film Festival 2020. It was such an honor to watch everyone's work. I was very inspired, especially during this crazy time. And I just want to tell everybody to keep making the work, keep working, keep finding your voice, keep going for it. It was amazing. The work was beautiful. It was so hard picking the winner, but I had a great time doing it. Everybody stay safe. Peace.
Thank you for that inspiring message. Now we're going to begin our showcase. After the festival, please head over to our website and vote for our Audience Choice Award. These will close tomorrow at 12. Also, please tune in to the award ceremony on May 29th, where the Audience Choice Award and Best and Runner-Up for each category will be announced. And also tune in to our other showcases this week.
When I was younger, looking at some of the other girls and some of the outfits that they would have on, or the latest styles of clothing or makeup or how they did their hair, especially during middle school and high school, and I would try to speak like them, I would try to dress like them, and it just didn't really feel natural. My name is Oni. I am an artist, a healer. I help remind people of their own natural ability to heal themselves. So I hold space for people to experience whatever healing and transformation that they need at any given time in their life. You know, this idea that we all have to look a certain way or be a certain way in order to be valuable, versus understanding and recognizing that the fact that we're here and the fact that we're so diverse, we're so unique, and that's what makes us all beautiful. I think the idea that we don't get to be who or what we are in the bodies that we are is just really heartbreaking. It's like you see the commercials and the billboards and the magazines, and they're just promoting these unrealistic ideas of beauty. Like even the models themselves don't look like what they end up looking like as the covers of these magazines or anything else that they're seeing. Our responsibility is to be who we are, whatever that looks like. You know, have your own individual style. If you want to wear things like cosmetics, if you want to wear things like adornments, if you want to wear jewelry, if you want to make your own jewelry, if you want to have different colored hair, I think whatever comes to you to do that is an expression of who you truly are from your own excitement is what we need. That's our responsibility, and that in and of itself will help to naturally break through any standards of beauty or any standards that we've created in terms of how a person needs to be. As I got older, it was starting to kind of look at religion and spirituality and questioning kind of what I was raised with and wondering what else was out in the world. I happened to take a music class at USC. It was an Afro-Latin percussion instruments class. And it was through that class that I was introduced to Ifa. Ifa is a traditional, spiritual, philosophical system, earth-based tradition that comes from the Yoruba people of West Africa, and it includes honoring the ancestors, being connected to nature and the elements, ritual ceremony, having good character and integrity, and being in balance with yourself, being in balance with other people. To me, wisdom is found in everything. It doesn't matter what tradition it comes from, it doesn't matter who's speaking it. If it rings true for me, if it sounds like it's valid and it helps me to grow and learn as a person, I listen to all of it. And listening to it helps me kind of put the puzzle pieces together to enrich my own life and to also really step more into my own power. So the fact that I'm a darker skinned, person of African heritage, the fact that I have a shaved head, when people see me, that has some sort of effect on them. I'm not doing it for that purpose. I'm just doing it to express myself. But I've had women come up to me and say, wow, when I see you, it really makes me want to do something different with my hair or shave my head, but I could never do it. I say, why not? I thought kind of the same thing, but then I just did it and it felt really great.
What do your adornments, clothes, and travel markings all mean to you?
They represent what I am feeling in that given moment. To me, when you're adorning yourself, you're beautifying yourself in whatever way that looks, you're creating a ritual to really bring forth just the creativity, the beauty, and the essence of who you are. Life and existence does not make mistakes. So period, you're here, you're valuable, you're worthy. If we didn't have your presence, your energy, the way you looked, every feature you have, how tall, how short, your body size, if we didn't have you as a representation of the all that is, then it wouldn't be the all that is because you would be missing. So you complete the picture of the whole. Without you, it's incomplete.
On December 19, 2019, 4 Blue Lab India project members traveled to Gujarat, India. While interacting with various community members, Setco Foundation employees, and making tons of new friends, they encountered experiences like never before. Inspired by the driven women of these rural communities, they learned important life skills, lessons, and created memories they would retell for the rest of their lives. However, this film is not focused on the experience of these travelers. Instead, it is meant to highlight the ambitious efforts of these women as they discover friendships, break gender roles, and find a new sense of confidence and independence they had not experienced before.
My name is Hannah Gronke. I joined the team in 2017, and I am an advisor for Blue Lab India project, and I'm also on eBoard for Blue Lab. Blue Lab India is a project team founded in 2014 at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. Its values include sustainability, servant leadership, community, collaboration, and socially engaged design. Blue Lab India partnered with Setka Foundation to start implementing a new stove technology to reduce health risks. The Stove project aided in the expansion of self-help groups as the women gained independence and confidence from building the stoves and teaching other women in their communities how to build them.
I'm Asa DeVries. I joined Blue Lab India in 2018 and I'm one of the sub-team leads. So the Stoves project began in 2015 and it's currently being implemented in 14 different communities with 1,052 stoves currently built. The Setka Foundation facilitates the expansion of the stoves whenever the Blue Lab India project team is not traveling themselves. They also help in spreading the message about the proper and the most effective use of the stoves with the goal of improving the health conditions of the women in these communities.
Hi, I'm Paulina. I joined Blue Lab India project in the fall of 2019 and I'm just a general member on the team. The Stoves project helps redirect the smoke emissions away from the faces of the women, which helps reduce the health risks associated with smoke inhalation. I was able to travel to India in December of 2019, and while I was there, we interviewed several women in various communities around Kol, Gujarat, to inquire about their experiences working with the stoves. It was surprising to see that the stoves were more than just means of reducing health risks, but a way for these women to travel to other communities and provide them with opportunities to leave their houses.
Hi, my name is Kyra Kathawala. I joined the team my sophomore year, which is the fall of 2018, and I am one of the new technology leads. So I traveled to India in December 2019 and had the opportunity to work with some women in the community of Madras, and I learned about their experiences and also their contribution to self-help groups which are there. A self-help group is a group with about 10 to 15 women whose goal is to educate other women and provide them with more opportunities and also better the communities that they're working with in general.
So my name is Parthiani and I am the project co-lead of Blue Lab India project. I joined the first semester of my freshman year, so about a year and a half ago. I traveled to India in December of 2019 and the experience was really inspiring. I was able to learn a lot about the community, and many of the women in this community were very ambitious and very driven. Seeing these women take such strong initiatives, especially given the situations that they're in, was really wonderful, and I learned a lot from my experience traveling. We interviewed the president of a self-help group to find out about the opportunities being in a self-help group has opened up for her. Kalpana Ben was her name, and she was from Madras, and she joined a self-help group 2 years ago, and through it, she has been able to help other women start businesses as well as start her own business.
Next, we will hear from Kalpana Ben, the president of a self-help group in Madras. She will tell us about her personal experiences being involved in a self-help group.
નમસ્તે એટલે પહેલાં મંડળ વિશે અમને કંઈ જાણકારી નહોતી. મંડળમાં જોડ્યા પછી અમને તો ફાયદા તો એક તો પહેલાં અમે પોતાની બચત કરતા થયા, પોતાની બચત પૈસા ભેગા કર્યા, એ સમૂહમાં ગ્રુપ બનાવ્યું, કોઈ બહેનોના પ્રશ્ન હોય તો એનું નિરાકરણ થયું. પછી અમારું જે અમે બચત કરતાં કરતાં અમારું પૈસાના ભંડોળ વધ્યું, ભંડોળમાંથી અમે અમારો અંદરની ક્વોલિટી અમારી બહાર આવી કે આટલી બધી બહેનો મળીને આટલા બધા આપણે પૈસા ભેગા થયા છે તો આપણે કંઈક તો કરવું જોઈએ. પછી અમે બધા બહેનો મળીને નાસ્તો બનાવવાનું વિચાર્યું, કેન્ટીનનું, ફાસ્ટ ફૂડનું. તો અમે હાલમાં નાસ્તો બનાવીએ છીએ. પછી અમારા ગામમાં અત્યારે હાલમાં 14 મંડળ છે, એટલે 3-4 ગ્રુપમાં અલગ અલગ પ્રવૃત્તિ થાય છે. મંડળમાં નહોતા જોડાયા હતા પહેલાં તો અમે કશું જ નહોતા, અને કોઈ બેનને ધિરાણ અગર કોઈ બેનને તૈયારીમાં જરૂર પડે આરોગ્ય માટે પૈસાની તો અમે મંડળ દ્વારા એ બેનને પૈસા લઈએ. એમ કરી મંડળમાં અમારા નવા નવા ફાયદા તો ઘણા થયા છે, અને હાલમાં અમારે 2 વર્ષ ને 3 મહિના થયા છે મંડળ.
As we learned from Kalpana Ben, the community has benefited greatly from these self-help groups, herself included. The next series of interviews depicts each woman's personal interests within their self-help groups.
પૈસા ભેગા કરવાનું ગમે છે, બેંકમાં જવાનું સારું લાગે છે.
હા, અમારા મંડળનું નામ છે દુર્ગા મહિલા મંડળ. અમે મંડળમાં જોડાયા પછી પૈસાની બચત કર્યા પછી
We learned that the women were able to benefit financially from their self-help groups as well. Next, we wanted to hear a little more about SECO Foundation and their role working in the community. Up next, we have Urja Shah, the president of SECO Foundation.
So hi, I'm Urja Shah. I run the SECO Foundation. I'm the president. So essentially the managing trustee, and I wear many hats within the company as well as the foundation. When I get out there and I meet the people and I'm just out, I think it really energizes me. It makes me feel like, okay, we're doing something that's meaningful and it's creating a difference somewhere. I love their optimism and I love their grit. They've sort of worked under really challenging conditions. You know, it's really not easy when you've sort of your whole life not been seen as an individual, or when you've not been valued as an individual, whether it's within your family, as a community, for them to take the steps to say, no, I'm going to do this, and then to really work at it against, they don't have help in the house, they don't have that many resources, but they're still really sort of making time to sort of do something that's better for themselves, better for their families, and I really admire that. I think it's something we can all learn from. At least I can, for sure.
It was wonderful to learn about Urja's personal experiences and motivations, so we decided to interview a few more SECO Foundation employees. Up next, we will hear from Nikita Chatterjee, a SECO Foundation intern.
Hi, I'm Nikita Chatterjee. I'm currently doing my Masters in Development Studies from Azim Premji University. Every project has this element where we try to do it with the community. It's always a collaboration. I think what I really love about the people in all the communities here is that they're so receptive to you, they're so welcoming. Like the communities where we work, the people are brilliant, and I think the more you keep yourself open, the more they're going to open up to you.
In addition, we will be hearing from Usha Menon, the Program Operations Executive, and Kajal Joshi, the Communication and Documentation Executive, to learn about their experiences working with SECO Foundation and the community.
Want to go and connect to people, see, because when you sit in the office reading a paper or something, a document somebody's written, the findings that is given is the end. But when you talk to somebody, you come to know more than what is given in the paper. You come to know their problems, you make a rapport. So that's how well a community is. It's an open-ended area for it. So when you come to the community, there's various expressions, because they don't know you, you don't know them. So they try to know you, you try to know them. But the people in the community, they're very helpful. They don't expect anything in return much, but they'll help you.
So the acceptance and the non-judgmental part, they teach you this, the ethics, they develop that in you. When you make friends, then I won't ask about your caste or where do you come from or how you talk or what your parents do. It doesn't matter and it shouldn't.
What's one thing you have learned from these women and from interacting in the community?
Expression of love.
So is that
fear
something?
Of being judged.
Okay.
Always, yeah.
These women are illiterate, but they have come a very long way with only passion and determination. So, this is something that you take home.
After listening to what Usha and Kajal have learned from the women in the community, we decided to talk to them ourselves. We attended a self-help group meeting to hear more about how their self-help group was formed, how their husbands reacted, and how each woman and their community benefited from each self-help group.
તો એ રીતે અમને થોડી ચર્ચા કરી બધી વિસ્તારમાં મીટિંગ કરી પછી અમે બધી બહેનો કીધું અમારે અંદર દેરાણી જેઠાણીને કે આ રીતે આપણે 100 રૂપિયા ભેગા કરીએ અને એક એસએચજી બનાવીએ એક ગ્રુપ બનાવીએ ગ્રુપનું જે તે આપણી બહેનો નક્કી કરશે કે કઈ શું ગ્રુપનું શું નામ રાખવું છે એ રીતે અમે બધું અમારું પ્લાનિંગ ટોટલી કર્યું અમે અમાર પછી એસબીઆઈમાં અમારું ખાતું ખોલાવ્યું મંડળનું અમારા મંડળનું નામ શ્રી ગણેશ મહિલા મંડળ છે પછી અમારા મંડળમાં બચત થઈ 2-3 મહિના 4-5 મહિના થઈ ગયા એટલે બચત ભંડોળ થઈ પછી મેં કીધું હવે શું કરશું એમ પછી અમને નાસ્તો બનાવવાનો પછી જમવાનું બનાવવાનો વધારે રસ વધારે હતો તો મેં કીધું આ સરને આપણે આ રીતના વાત કરીએ કે કંઈક નાસ્તો બનાવી આ બધી દુકાનોમાં વેપાર કરે છે એ રીતના કંઈક કરીએ. પછી અમે એમને સેમ્પલવાળી મમરા છે, પછી પાપડ પૌવા છે, એવા થોડા એમને અમે સેમ્પલ બતાવ્યા. પછી એમને લઈ જઈને અમુક કેન્ટીનમાં બતાવ્યા. એ રીતે અમારો નાસ્તો શરૂઆત ચાલુ થઈ. એમ કરતાં 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 પછી અમે જમવાના ઓર્ડર લીધા. પછી અમે બહાર પણ કોઈ પ્રસંગ હોય તો અમે બહાર પણ જાતે જઈએ છીએ, લાઈવ કરીએ છીએ. ગમે તે અમારો ઓર્ડર હોય છે અમે બધા બહેનો ભેગા મળી અને એનું પ્લાનિંગ કરીએ છીએ અને બધું આયોજન અમે કરીએ છીએ. એમાંથી અમારી ઘણી બધી બહેનોએ ઘણું બધું એમના ઘરમાં પણ બદલાવ લાવ્યા છે અને એમની આવકમાં પણ વધારો થયો છે. અને એ તમારા માટે બહુ સારું કહેવાય. ખૂબ ખૂબ આભાર અમારા બહેનો સરનો. અને જે અમે આ એસજીમ જોડ્યા પછી આ બધું જાણવા મળ્યું. દ્વારકા પણ ગયા અને એક્સપોઝર વિઝિટ પણ કરી. એની અમારી બહેનો થોડીક માહિતી આપશે.
Once we heard about how the women joined or formed their self-help groups, we wanted to know more about what they put the money they earned towards.
આરોગ્ય માટે, સ્કૂલની ફી ભરવા માટે, એ જેન આરોગ્ય માટે તો જરૂરી હોય ને તો પહેલા જ આપવું પડે.
મીટિંગ કરવાની અમારે એક મીટિંગ કરીએ છીએ ને મીટિંગ સાથે અમે ચર્ચા કરીએ કે આ બેનને 5,000ની જરૂર છે. તમે એ બેનને અમે બધા સહમત થઈને 5,000 રૂપિયા અમે આપીએ. એ બેન દર મહિને અમારે જે એને બને એટલી કોશિશ કરીને અમે 1,000નો હપ્તો રાખીએ કે 500 રૂપિયાનો એ હાથે વ્યાજ હાથે અમને
આપી દે, પરત કરી દે.
એટલે બધા બહેનો
2 વર્ષ ને 2 મહિના
એની સામે સરકારે તો પૈસા
સરકારે આપ્યા ને ₹12,000 ગવર્મેન્ટે આપ્યા. જે અમે બહેનોને ધિરાણકરણ પરત થઈ ગયા અને હાલમાં 50,000 અમે CIF તરફથી અમને જે મધવાસ ગ્રામ સખી સંઘ અમારે 10 મંડળનું અમે એક મંડળ બનાવ્યું બીઓ જે મધવાસ ગ્રામ સખી સંઘ. એમાં અમને ગવર્મેન્ટે 7 લાખ રૂપિયા આપ્યા.
60,000નું શું કરવું?
ધિરાણ આપીએ છીએ મંડળમાં ફેરવીએ બેન જેને જોઈએ એને અમે આપીએ છીએ.
તો પછી
અમે હાલમાં તો અમે જે બેનો સુખડીનું કામ કરીએ છીએ તો અમે બધો નફો નહીં એમાંથી લઈ લેતા. એમાંથી અમે અમુક ટકા પૈસા અંદર રહેવા દઈએ છીએ અને અમારે ગમે તે ઓર્ડર કરવો હોય તો અમે એ જ પૈસાથી કરીએ છીએ અને એ પૈસા પાછા પરત મૂકી દઈએ છીએ. એ રીતે કરીએ.
It was inspiring to hear how selfless these women were. Despite being able to take the money and only benefit themselves, they used it to help other families in their villages. They were also very sustainable with the money that they earned, allowing the self-help group to continue. Finally, we learned about how the women were affected by these self-help groups personally.
પેલા તો ઘરમાંથી બહાર જ નતા નીકળતા.
એના તો બેન એવું કે અમારા ગામડાવાળા વિસ્તારમાં બહાર અમારા બૈરાને બહુ બહાર છૂટ નહીં પણ હમણાં તો અમે બધે જઈ આવ્યા. અમે
પહેલા કેવું હતું કે
વડોદરા ફરી આવ્યા.
પહેલા અમે બિઝનેસ ચાલુ કર્યો. પહેલા તો જો કઈ જતા જ નતા. હા હું તો ભલે ગામમાં નથી જતી કઈ તો બિઝનેસ ચાલુ કર્યા ને એ વાતમાં તો અમને મદદ ના કરે. હા કોઈ પણ વસ્તુ લાવવાનું હોય તો હવે તારું કામ બે દેવું કે તમે કીધું ના અમે આ કરશું. અમેથી કંઈક અમને નવું શીખવા મળશે, જાણવા મળશે અને અમે આગળ કઈ જશું તો અમને બીજું નવું શીખવા મળશે. તો તમે પણ અમારી હેલ્પ કરો એમ. એ રીતે અમે એમને પણ થોડા સમજાવ્યા. બધા ઘરે કહીએ હો ઘરે આટલો ટાઈમ કહીને આવજો. મીટિંગમાં જવાનું છે તો 2 કલાક થશે એવું કહીને આવજો. સમજાવીને આવજો. એ રીતે અમે એમને પણ સમજણ પાડી અને અમારી જે આવક થાય ને તે અમે એમને નફો બતાવ્યો કે અમે ઘેર બેઠા આટલો બધો નફો કમાય છે તો પછી એ સારું જ કહેવાય એમ. એ રીતે અમે એમને પણ સમજાવ્યા. તો પછી અમે જે આ 10 બહેનો બેનને પૈસા ભેગા કર્યા પછી અમારે જોઈએ ને ગમે તારે તો અમને મળી શકે છે પૈસા. એટલે એમને કે હા અમારી જોડે હવે પૈસા એવા માંગતા નથી. તો આ એમને જે કર્યું એ બધું સારું કરે છે એવું અત્યારે તો કેટલા બધા એવું બધું કહેશે કે તમે આ બધું જે ચાલુ કર્યું છે એ બહુ સરસ છે ને આમાં તમે બહુ આગળ જશો એવું બધું બહુ કહેશે. જે અમે મમરા બનાવતી એમાં તો મારા મિસ્ટર છે, એમના મિસ્ટર છે, પછી આ બહેનો છે, પછી બહેનોના મિસ્ટર પણ હેલ્પ કરે છે. કશું લાવવાનું હોય તો એ લઈને પણ જાય છે. અને કોઈ પણ ઓર્ડરમાં ધારો કે ગમે તે વસ્તુ રહી જવું હોય તો ઘર બેઠા અમે તઈ બેઠા કહીએ કે અમારી વસ્તુ આ ભૂલી ગયા છે ઘરે તો તમે લઈને આવવા આવો તો એ ગમે તેમનો ટાઈમ સેટ કરીને અમને આવવા આવે છે. એ રીતે મદદ કરે છે.
પેલા તો ટાઈમ બગાડીને ખરીદી કરવા જતા. અત્યારે તો અમે વોટ્સઅપ કરીને ઘેર સામાન આવે છે.
Hearing about the growth of these women and the independence they gained was inspirational. Going against such strict cultural expectations and creating something for themselves against all odds was both beautiful and motivational.
Hi guys, my name is Nikki. I'm a sophomore and I joined Blue Lab my freshman year, first semester, so about a year and a half ago. I'm currently the project lead or one of the project leads alongside Parth. I just want to talk about something I kind of learned when I went and traveled to India this past winter break. And basically, one thing that was like super common was that we had like a language barrier between us and the one we were working with. And they were super incredible, and we like really wanted to assist them in whatever way we could, but it was super hard to because we couldn't speak the language and they obviously didn't speak English. There was like no real way for us to do that other than through translators. So one thing I learned was that like a lot of communication is not kind of like fancy language or what you're saying or anything like that. It's more about gestures, small gestures, finding things to laugh about that's common to both of you guys, finding things that are both positive for both parties involved. And so kind of like taking away from that, it's making me realize like what are the basic elements of like human connection and what's actually important. And that's something that I never would have learned if I didn't have this experience and I didn't really get to meet and interact with all these women for such an extended period of time.
So I traveled last winter and the whole experience was just so incredible. And one of the reasons that this was such a great opportunity was I was able to work with some of the local women in the communities and get to know them really a lot better than before. And all of their stories are just so inspiring. It's really incredible to see how they were living beforehand with staying in the houses most of the time and then not really going outside to kind of transitioning, being part of this self-help group and, you know, raising money in the community and then also supporting themselves and some of their family. It's just really incredible and so inspiring. Even within my own life, you know, to do things that might be outside my comfort zone and try new experiences and always keep a new open mind, because what they're doing right now is so amazing and helping not only them but their whole community, and then just having those goals to keep aspiring for more is really astounding, and I definitely look up to them as role models.
Last winter was my second time traveling, and we really wanted to focus more on the people in the community this time. From these women, I really understood that there's a lot that I take for granted here in America. I think what was really inspiring was the confidence these women have to really make a stand for their communities and make a stand for their families. I think that their love for their community and their families is really just inspiring and something that we can all learn things from.
I was given the opportunity to travel to Gujarat, India in December of 2019, and while I was there, I definitely learned a lot of lessons that I will hold with me for the rest of my life. First, I think that Western culture has a habit of painting individuals facing poverty in third world countries in a very negative light, when in reality, I was there and I saw a lot of these women had a lot more determination and a lot more confidence that I had initially expected them to have. And I think that's because living in America, we are given this one story of these people living in developing countries and how they're weak and helpless, when in reality that's not true. And Western culture has a habit of painting themselves as this protagonist, when in reality we are not a superhero coming to save the day. The women that I saw and I worked with in the communities were completely capable of starting businesses, and they were applying concrete skills that they learned from day to day, just doing day-to-day tasks. And they were uplifting their community all on their own without our help. In fact, we were the ones who were learning from them, and it was just an amazing experience being able to witness the work that these women were doing. It really motivated me to try to make a change in my own life. And I also think that it's really inspiring because a lot of these women do come from a background with no education, and yet they're still doing all these amazing things. And I think that just shows how they are breaking stereotypes, that you do not need to come from a place of high education in order to make the world a better place. And it was just wonderful being able to experience all of these, and it has definitely been one of the most impactful trips and places I've ever been to in my life.
Wrestling has completely changed my life. Over the years, I was a really nervous and anxious person, and just through everything that it's taught me, it's definitely made me a stronger and more confident person.
It's not really much of a hobby, more of a passion. It's something I do whenever I feel stressed. It's a way I clear my mind out of things in life. Like if I'm stressed with school or family, I know that soccer's always going to be there because I've been doing it ever since I was young.
There's always girls that are always going to be better than me, taller girls, short girls that are way faster, but I always think to myself that it don't matter and I always work hard and hustle. When I went to John C. Fremont High School my freshman year, there was no JV team. I had to go straight to varsity because we didn't have enough girls playing for JV. And it was hard because I didn't really know the fundamentals.
I started wrestling because my friend had invited me. We couldn't get our schedules changed, so we had to dedicate our own time at 5:30 in the morning, and then after school from 2 to like 6 p.m. to condition and kind of just introduce us to the sport. Other male wrestlers that are involved in the sport, in the past they have treated us pretty poorly and just told us to quit or it's not for us. We're not as strong or competitive as them, or we don't do things properly within wrestling. We want to be good, and all these negative things that are like being put on us, it can affect us in the way like that we wrestle, but often we just try to ignore it. There's definitely a huge stigma with women's wrestling and how it's been dominated by males for quite a while, but when people approach me in that sense and tell me that it's not for you, it makes me want to work hard. Male coaches didn't really quite understand how to coach us just because it's extremely different from coaching guys. Our bodies are completely different. An example of this would be women are way more flexible than guys, and so a lot of these moves that they would teach us, girls could easily get out of it. Compared to a guy, it wouldn't be the same.
At the age that I first started playing soccer was 6, but I didn't really like the sport by then because I was still a little young. But then I went back into playing the sport at 8, and that's when I really fell in love with the sport. When I first moved to the United States, I had spent 2 years without my dad because I was in El Salvador, he was already here. And soccer was a way for me and my family to bond because we're all really active. My mom actually plays too. So in my high school soccer team, we don't really get all the funding that we need. I feel like there's a lot of injustice there because the guys soccer team doesn't really win as many games or as many titles, unlike the girls, but they still get all the new stuff, the new soccer balls, the new jerseys and everything, and we had to work hard to get all the new stuff we wanted. I feel the only time we receive attention is when we're made it to quarterfinals or semifinals. That's when people start to realize, oh, that we actually can play. And I feel like we don't get that much attention because we don't have that much publicity at school. Like with the guys' football team or soccer team, you see posters everywhere. You hear all the announcements on the intercoms. All the teachers are like, oh, go support the guys' soccer team. But when it comes to the girls playing, they don't really pay that much attention to it. And that really reflects on the students' support to the team too. Being a coach for young kids is really rewarding because I feel like I'm really making a difference in their lives. Some of the struggles, training a group of little kids who are mostly boys, is all the doubt from the parents. Many times when my dad introduces me to them as the person who trains their kids, they're very doubtful. They're always asking me how old I am or how long have I been playing and if I really know what I'm doing. And I know they don't mean it in a bad way, like they're just not used to seeing a young female coaching a group of little kids.
So we don't really get enough resources because we don't have a committed coach. A lot of girls don't really want to play basketball for the consistency of our coaches. They're never committed. The guys' basketball team are ranked 1, they're top than us, and we're Division 4. So When we play basketball, we barely have people. We barely have like 20 people, 14 people. Compared to the guys' basketball team, they have a full crowd. What we need from people to help us make a change is more fundings, more support at games, especially from the guys' basketball team to help us lift us up.
Just the simple fact that if people came out to support us during the games, I feel like it would really encourage us to try harder and to try to get further ahead for our school and to like show people that we're worth the support, like we're worth you being here, spending your time looking at our team.
Some changes that we need to see in women's wrestling would definitely be more publicity, more support from our school, definitely more funding, and more collegiate wrestling programs for girls in the future so they can continue their wrestling career.
My name is Jocelyn. I am 28 years old and I was born in Honduras. Growing up in Honduras, I had a really nice childhood. I could say everything was good until my mom decided it was time for us to move over here. I was 9 when she moved. She told me that she was going for a business trip because she didn't want to tell me that she was gonna come over here because I guess it was gonna be harder for me. It took her 9 months for her to basically get the money to bring me here. I couldn't say bye to anybody. My grandpa got killed, my cousin got raped, and my uncle got killed as well for the gangs. And mind me, my grandma was already an owner of a business, so that makes it even dangerous for us to be there. So if I was to say I'm going to the US, my grandma was my more danger of getting attacked by the gang members. When I left Honduras, it was scary because I had to ride a bus with 17 different kids who were the age of 9 to 15. They gave us all a little notebook where we had to write what was gonna be our name, the age we were gonna say, who were our parents, where were we from, why were we coming over here. So basically, like, they make us learn whatever history of the little kid or the little girl we were using. On my letter, supposedly I was coming here to fix my teeth because she had gotten into an accident. So they told me that basically I didn't have to talk. So they gave me a magazine. They told me that day, September 11, 2001, they told me that I was gonna grab a magazine and I was just gonna hold on to the lady and act like she was my mom, like she was gonna respond for me. They cut my hair. Like, they cut my hair really short, just like the girl. They dyed my hair with highlights because the girl on the passport had highlights. The day came, and in the group that I was in, it was 8 of us. 5 of them got stopped, and the other ones we were able to cross the line. So we got in the plane, and after that, like, none of the whole Twin Towers had happened. But when we landed in LA, that's when everything changed. Because not only they told us, like, we're all gonna look for the sweater. In this case, they told me that I had to look for someone with a pink sweater. So I'm coming now and to, like, pass immigration, I see everybody just praying and holding on to, like, each other. And again, I didn't know what was going on because everything was in English. Even though I was in LA, like, in the airport, nobody was speaking no type of Spanish. Like, everything happening, like planes crashing into it, it was scary. Like, I really thought it was the end of the world. I looked for this lady for the longest, but everything was a chaos in there. I was lost. I didn't know what to say because I thought that if I asked someone, like, they were gonna call immigration, or it was just an ugly feeling. Like, after 3 hours, I was able to find a lady, and she took me to my mom's friend, which I never met. And I had to wait there for a week in order for my mom to find someone that would take her to LA to get me. I think one of the hardest things for me here, it was to learn the language. Not only, even though I went to a school that had a lot of Hispanic kids, all of them didn't speak the same way I speak. So it was harder for me to communicate to even people that spoke the same language. I hated my mom even more because I didn't want to be here. Like, over there I was fine, or I didn't have to struggle the way I was here. And it took me a year for me to learn the language. I basically isolated myself from everybody. I would spend most of my time at the library. And I guess the fact that I was alone made me push myself a little harder for me to learn it, so that way I could communicate and also help my mom out, because it was really hard for her to find a job because of the language. She didn't have papers, and it was just a whole mess. Ever since I became a mom, I'm afraid of not being able to be there for my girls, because I know how hard it is to just have one parent. I know she will be okay and loved by everybody, but now I don't ask God for money or anything else but to let me live a little longer for my girls, to make them strong. The fact that I didn't understand what my mom most of the time was super worried about me. Like, I just thought that she was just always on my neck and didn't let me live my life, but I really didn't know how dangerous it was until I became a mom. After that, basically, it helped me out to understand that most of the time that my mom was hard on me, and then in my head I was like, man, I hate you. Like, I hate you not letting me leave. I was gonna be in that position later on, like now. If I could tell my mom anything, it would be thank you. Thanks for being so hard on me, and thanks for not giving up on me. Thanks for being the best dad, the best mom, and the best friend.
Chodźcie, chodźcie dzieci. Koncert mamy, koncert.
Za malowanie, za ceramikę wzięłam się trochę może późno, patrząc na biologię życia. Bardzo, bardzo można być przez to szczęśliwym. To odmładza naszą psychę, o, tak bym powiedziała. A na pewno nas ubogaca. W tej chwili bardzo grają mi w duszy obrazy o tematyce religijnej i z tej tematyki religijnej właśnie Madonna z dzieciątkiem. Może jakieś niespełnione pragnienia dzieci, których nie mam, nie wiem. Cokolwiek by to nie było, sprawiają mi one dużą radość i mam nadzieję, że to jest początek jakby takiego kierunku, który chyba pociągnę dalej. Moja pracownia ceramiczna, w której spędzam bardzo dużo czasu, zwłaszcza w zimowo-jesienne, długie, ciemne wieczory. Zamykam się tutaj, odcinam od całego świata i przebywam w moim królestwie mojej wyobraźni, mojej fantazji, mojej przyjemności. Zanurzam ręce w glinę, bawię się w Pana Boga niemalże. Linie mnie bardzo fascynują, są bardzo kolorowe, są w kształtach prześliczne, są takie właśnie obłe, kuliste i to takie miękkie, ładne kształty. A tutaj mamy figurki Wenus z Willendorfu. To taka starożytna, nie do końca wyjaśniona jak gdyby symbolika tej figurki, no niemniej jednak po dzisiejszy dzień zachwycająca. Tłuste jest piękne, jak się okazuje. Może pulchne jest piękne, żeby było ładniej. Więc mnie ona też zachwyca. Wszyscy się śmieją, że ona musi gdzieś ta figurka mieć dziureczkę, żeby powietrze w trakcie wypalania nie rozsadziło ją. Pytanie, gdzie ta dziureczka jest? Nie powiem. Zaczęłam robić popiersia ubrane albo częściowo roznegliżowane. Koniecznie piersi odsłonięte, jako że ciało kobiece jest prześliczne, doskonałe. Bardzo proszę, jak Pani się czuje po ostatnim ostrzyknięciu? Czy bark mniej boli?
Tak, tak. Nie jest to ustąpienie dolegliwości, bo ja je odczuwam, ale myślę, że jest dużo lepiej. Tak.
To się bardzo cieszę. Proszę się rozebrać.
দ্রাবিড় শক হুনসহ অসংখ্য আদিবাসী নৃগোষ্ঠীর দেশ বাংলাদেশ। বাঙালি জাতিসত্তা প্রাণ প্রাচুর্য পেয়েছে আদিবাসী রক্তের সঙ্গে শঙ্করায়িত হয়ে। বাংলাদেশের উত্তরাঞ্চলের দিনাজপুরের রেখা হাসদা তার সংগ্রাম আর লড়াই চালিয়ে যাচ্ছেন ভূমিদস্যুদের বিরুদ্ধে। আদিবাসী এই নারী ৭১-এর মুক্তিযুদ্ধে যাওয়া গেরিলা মুক্তিযোদ্ধাদের সহযোগিতা করেছেন। সেই থেকেই তার সংগ্রাম শুরু। আদিবাসীদের শিক্ষা, চিকিৎসা, জমি, বন প্রকৃতি রক্ষা সংগ্রামে তিনি আজও অবিচল। তাকে নিয়ে আমাদের এই আয়োজন, ইন সার্চ অফ রেখা হাসদা।
আমার নাম রেখা হাসদা। আমাদের বাবার পৈতৃক সম্পত্তি আমাদের, কিন্তু এটা ৪২ একর ১৩ শতক জমি ছিল। বর্তমান এই যুগে মূল্য ১০ কোটি টাকার মতো। জমিটা আমাদের যখন ওই যে ভাইরা তারপরে আবার ওই যে ভাইগুলা মারা গেছে না, তখন কিন্তু ওরা যে দলিল দেখায়, তারপরে ওই যে যুদ্ধে তো আমরা ছাড়ে চলে গেছি, তারপরে আসে দেখি তো ওদের হাতে চলে গেছে। পরে বলছে যে এই যে দলিলটা আমাদের হাতে আছে। তবুও কিন্তু এই যে 2002 পর্যন্ত সম্পত্তিগুলো ছিল, তারপরে কিন্তু সম্পূর্ণ ওরা দখলে চলে গেছে, আর আমাদেরকে ওই জমিতে যাইতে দেয় না। পরে আমরা যখন গেছি তখন কিন্তু ওই যে মারামারি হয়ে গেল, মার্ডার পর্যন্ত হয়ে গেছে। তারপরে আমাদেরকে তো ওই যে জেলখানায় ঢুকাইলো। থানা তো ওদের দিকে, আমাদের দিকে তো কেউ শোনে না। ওদের হাতে তো এখন সম্পূর্ণ, আমাদের হাতে এখন 10 বিঘের মতো আছে। এটাও যুদ্ধ করে আমরা এই জমিটা নিয়েছি। আমরা সবাই মিলে কিন্তু এইটাতে নেমেছি। তারপরে আমার প্রশ্নটা হচ্ছে যে এই যে ছোট বাচ্চার হাতে টাকা দেখা যাচ্ছে, ওই টাকাটা কেউ নাই ওই বাচ্চার পাশে, কিন্তু ওই টাকাটা তো ওই হাত থেকে কেড়ে নেওয়া যাবে না। তারপরে আবার আরেকটা প্রশ্ন হচ্ছে, আমরা কিছুই বুঝি না, আমরা কিন্তু মূর্খ লোক। তো আমরা মূর্খ বলে আপনারা বুঝেন, সব কিছু জানেন, তো আমাদের সম্পত্তি এইভাবে দলিলে উঠাবেন কেন? আমরা ন্যায্য বিচার চাই, এটাই আমার আসল কথা। আমার ইউনিয়নের এই যে স্থানীয় সরকার আছে, ইনি কিন্তু আমাদেরকে কোনো সহযোগিতা করে না। ওই যে দূর থেকে আমাদেরকে দেখেন, কিন্তু আমাদের পাড়াতে ঢোকেন না। আমাদের পাশে আছে তহসিল অফিস, তারপরে রেভিনিউ অফিস, ওখানে গিয়ে আমরা কথা বলি, কিন্তু আমার কথাতে কোনো দাম দেয় না। ওরা টাকা ছাড়া কথা বলে না, টাকা না হইলে কোনো কাজ নাই। আমাদের পাড়াতে এই যে নারীগুলো আছে না, ওদের সঙ্গে আমরা আছি, আমরা যুদ্ধতেই আছি। তারপরে আমাদের কথাটা হচ্ছে, মরলে একবারে মরবো, বারবার মরবো না। তারপরে এই যে ভূমি দুঃস্থদেরকে দেখেই ছাড়বো, তারা মাঠে যুদ্ধ করবে। আর আমাকে বলছে যে আপনি এই যে কোর্টে যুদ্ধ করবেন, কোর্টে যাওয়া আসা করবেন। আমি 8ম শ্রেণী পর্যন্ত পড়েছি। তারপরে আমি যেইটুকু শিখছি এইটাই কিন্তু আমি এখন ছেলে মেয়েদেরকে আমি বলি যে আমি এইটুকু লেখাপড়া করেছি, তোমরা আমার থেকে সামনে ওঠার জন্য তোমরা চেষ্টা করো। আবার আমার লেখাপড়ার কিন্তু অনেক চাহিদা ছিল, কি আর বলি, এই যে যুদ্ধ আরম্ভ হয়ে গেল, বাবা নাই। তারপরে বিভিন্ন সমস্যায় আমি পড়ে গেলাম, ওই কারণে আর আমি সামনে আগাইতে পারি না। তবুও কিন্তু এখন ছেলে মেয়েদেরকে অনেক আমি পরামর্শ দেই। এই যে ইন্টারে 3 জন আছে, ওদেরকে আমি বারবার বলি তোমার পিছে আরও টানে ধরার জন্য চেষ্টা করো, তোমার পিছে পিছে যাতে তোমার পিছে ওরা সামনে যাইতে পারে। আর এদেরকেও বলি তোমরা যত হাঁটতে পারো তোমরা সামনেই চলে যাও, পিছনে তোমরা ফিরে তাকাবে না। এক সময় আমি ওই যে বয়স্ক শিক্ষা শিখাইছি আমাদের পাড়াতে, গ্রামে, আবার বিভিন্ন গ্রামেও। এই যে বয়স্ক লোক কিন্তু লেখাপড়া জানতো না, ওদেরকে নাম লেখা শিখাইছি, এখন ওরা নিজেরা নাম সই করতে পারে। আগে তো সেলাই করতাম, এখন কিন্তু সেলাইও করতে পারি না। এখন এই যে চলাফেরা আমার অনেক অসুবিধা হচ্ছে, যে মামলা চলা আমাদের কঠিন হচ্ছে, টাকা পয়সা নাই। তারপরে আমরা 16 জন আছি, তো এটা আমরা চালা চান্দা করে এই মামলা আমরা চলাচ্ছি। তারপরে এই যে সংস্থা থেকে সময় দেয় কিছু, তারপরে আমরা নিজেরাই কিন্তু এটা কোনো রকম করে চলছি আর কি। কারণ আমি তো নিজে এখন আর কোনো কিছু কাজ করতে পারি না, আমার তো চলার মতো কঠিন, অনেক কষ্ট পাই। জমি রক্ষার ব্যাপারে এই যে আমাদের পাশে অফিসটা আছে, এরা কিন্তু সহযোগিতা করে নাই। এই যে এনজিওগুলো আছে, NDF, তারপর গ্রাম বিকাশ, এরা কিছুটা সহযোগিতা করেছে। আমি আমাদের জাতিগোষ্ঠীর জন্য আমার জীবনকে উৎসর্গ করেছি। সংসার আর সংগ্রাম একসঙ্গে চলে না, কোনো সময়ের জন্য না।
Thank you so much. Those films were so amazing. Audience Choice Award is now open on our website for the category, so go over there and vote on your favorite film that you just saw. Be sure to tune in to our other screenings this week and to our awards ceremony on May 29th. Thank you!